Welcome back to the National Hockey Centre here in Glasgow as we are ready for the big semi-finals at EuroHockey Championship 2. It has been a busy day so far, though, with win for Switzerland against Portugal giving them a chance of survival in this second tier. Ukraine and Czech Republic, the two sides that had 3 points apiece, they move into 4 points, edge them closer to safety, but they've got work to do, and with Switzerland in the mix, it will be rather tasty. Coming up then, Wales against France, the first of these semi-finals, and then Scotland against Russia is at 4:30. Wales top of their pool against France, who are second behind Scotland. Let's get straight to the lineups, and for Wales, well, a big game for Lewis Prosser, the captain for this massive match. Of course, Wales were a third tier side in 2015. David Kettle, the keeper, might well be busy with his talented French side. James Kiedis has been a bit lethal in terms of goals, scored 3 and is a threat. Gareth Furlong, we know about his penalty corner, scored 2 against Portugal. And it's a side that have got a bit of confidence about them, despite on paper being the second lowest ranked side here. France, we all know about their quality. Victor Charley, the captain, though, was seen warming up but took that injury early in the week, didn't play the other day. Will he play here? We'll wait and see. Hugo Geneste was brilliant from penalty corners and has been a real linchpin with Charley not involved. Nicolas Dumont is a playmaker who will be certainly someone to watch out for, as is Etienne Taineves, the 18-year-old who has scored plenty of goals for France already in his young career, including a couple in this competition. Umpires for this one then, as you can see on screen, Nick Bennett and Fraser Bell. And of course the Scottish umpire, Bennett from England, so a bit of a Celtic affair around. But Wales and France, the first of the two semi-finals. Neil Slarrick is back alongside yourself, Callum Patterson in the commentary box. And France, slow start, Neil, got going and got through the group. Wales, maybe a little bit disappointed that they lost the lead against Russia, but still topped their group. Wales, as low ranked as they are on paper, is there a chance for them to maybe cause an upset against France?
Oh, I think so. Wales are a good side. They won by the odd goal in 2 of their matches. In the game against the Czech, and they drew from 2-0 up against Russia, which will be slightly concerning for their coach. Obviously they put 9 past Switzerland, something like that. Swiss coach said to me, didn't really know what happened. They lost 8 goals in 20 minutes. I don't see that happening. France have a very, very strong side, and we've talked about them all the way through. You've made the spot that Victor Charley has his shin pads on and his turf shoes on, which would suggest that he is going to be available if France need him. The French midfield is a very mobile midfield. We've seen them, they played well against Scotland, but Scotland managed to hit them on the break and get the good goals and beaten them. From that, the French have put the Ukrainians away, which we didn't, or Scotland didn't manage to do with the same confidence. I think the first 10 minutes is going to be important here, and as you've rightly said, this is the match to get promotion to the A division or the top league, and so they need to make sure that there's a consistent start, no silly mistakes at the beginning, and build themselves into the game. But the French are very quick, they are very mobile, and they've created a lot of chances.
So out come the sides, and how big this would be for Welsh hockey. They've had a good year themselves. A lot's been talked about Scotland in the last 12 months, but Wales were 36 in the rankings around about this time last year, 32nd now, but progressed relatively well in World League and had a good couple of results in there against Scotland in that run. And France looking to bounce straight back up into the top tier. They got to the semi-finals of the World League themselves, France, but we're in the Joe Bird section. But everyone lined up, and time for the national anthems for both sides, starting with Wales.
and please remain standing for the national anthem of France.
So, anthem sung, and we are just moments away from the first semi-final. Reminder that Scotland are up against Russia, that one at 4:30. But focus on this. Well, we did mention Neil about Victor Charley in the line-up there, and looks like he's going to play his part. And there's the talk of the stress fracture and one or two eyebrows when the circles were saying yesterday. Might be a chance he could play this. It could be a big risk if it goes wrong for him.
Yes, it is, but this is the big game, isn't it? If they get through this, they're in the final and promotion is secured. You take the advice of the medical team. They try and do the best they can to provide you with the best team on the field, and normally coaches won't risk somebody if it's going to do them long-term damage, but this is important for both sides to get through. Momentum will be an interesting thing. If France had a bad game, it was against Scotland where they lost. That was their first game, and they've built from then. They've beaten Ukraine convincingly, and they've beaten Portugal. Wales 3-2 up, 2-1 up against the Czech Republic on Sunday, and then they had their big result against Switzerland on Monday. But their last game was a 2-2 draw against Russia, where they were 2-0 up and they were pulled back to 2-2. So you don't know whether there's any residual thoughts of losing a winning position to be pulled back to that.
Well, they extensively watered the surface, and now it's absolutely posing it down with rain, so it could be rather treacherous. Big countdown for the first semi-final, and it is France to get us going. And from right to left in the blue and white, and for an early run was Francois Goyer. These two did meet at World League Round 2. It was a 1-0 win for France. Reggio with the goal in the 9th minute, so it was a very tight game when these two made at World League. France progressed to the semi-finals. Wales went out in the second stage. Lockwood with a nice little flick back for Goyer. Lockwood's another player that's pretty key for them after the defeat against Scotland. Played well in the big win against Portugal. Just behind a little bit for Dumont, but forward is Van Straten. France settling into some early fast-paced possession. Peters Jukes gives that one away though. Here's Carson. Space here for Draper. Wales might spot a gap. James Kyriakidis up with a quick protest. He'll be back with Wales right on the edge of the D. Right, it goes for Kelly. In from Kyriakidis. That'll be a turnover possession.
Lifted into the circle, and umpire judged it as being dangerous or leading to dangerous play. Welsh had an opportunity there. The French didn't really get their defensive set up in midfield quick enough to slow down the Welsh attack.
Here is Charlie, originally listed as being on the sidelines, but he's clearly fit after the warm-ups and playing from the start. Maybe fingers crossed, I'm sure that he'll be okay for the game. Big player, especially if he get penalty corners. That was stopped from Walgood's pass. Kelly on a mazy run. Van Straten stopped that though.
That's a great tackle by Lewis Prosser.
Also found Hawker.
How often you see Genesee losing the ball and being caught in possession. Great tackle by Lewis Prosser, putting him under pressure.
There's captain on the edge of the D. Shipley couldn't turn. Gooch flings it wide for Kelly. Right from Kelly into the D it goes. Might be alive. Francis tried to win it back. Pretty calm from the French.
French are very composed when they're defending in the circle. They try and build the ball out rather than just releasing it and putting it out of play.
Early flood of changes from the Welsh particularly.
But that's good by the Welsh defence. Saw that they were substituting their forwards, so they just kept the ball, held on to it for a while to give the forwards a chance to get into their position before they start to try and go forward.
Little loose from James Kyriakides, Goye for France. On the halfway line there. Charlie, a little help through on its way, didn't come to anything though from Simon Martin Bressac.
If you look at what the Welsh are doing now, Carl, they're throwing three forwards very high. Midfield are going up to the halfway line, so they're starting to try and draw the French out so that they can't work as a close-knit group when they're defending. So their forwards have to work against the back four, and then they've got balls from there into the midfield area.
Guillaume Durant was trying to sneak that out on a tight spot, but back it comes. Forward towards Baumgarten. Sneak back from Gareth Furlong to spin a couple of times and find space on a teammate. Often across there is one of the couple of three young players Wales have brought in recent times. Charlie's not in too much to do so far, so been pretty steady if he is still carrying the injury.
Yeah, the Welsh aren't really putting him under any pressure. They're pressuring the other people in the back, but leaving him to distribute. It'll be interesting whether they put him under a little bit more pressure as the game goes on.
A few claps with the fact that Wales managed to win possession back there. And the coach team on the sidelines. Stephen Kelly got a bit of company and Roger out. There goes Dinny. Hutchinson. Back from Daniel Kyriakidis. Closer to Furlong.
Well, showing good patience building up at the back, but Stephen Kelly didn't really get into position early enough there for them to be able to take advantage of the overload on the right as they do now.
Mugridge to Wall. Turn from Dolan Gray. Can't keep it quite in though. Forward with gusto. Baumgarten tried to get it. Back it is deep with Wales and Crosser. Cheaply given to Transcendental Lockwood, and he's spotted a nice gap out here. Baumgarten. Penalty corner against Gooch.
Lovely one-on-one elimination skills. Right, left drag. Defender gets set. His feet are stationary, planted into the circle or going into the circle. And this is why we think that the French have got Charlie on. His flicking at the penalty corner was one of their strengths, and they probably missed him.
Day was pretty good against Portugal, but this is a step up. Here is Dumont to inject. It's Charlie, no it isn't, it's going to be Geneste, but saved away. A little dummy routine. Geneste told to get up, nothing coming from that, but first penalty corner, Wales survive. Search and ball. Daniel Kyriakidis doing well there, and now he's won it back. Support flying in. Just away it was from Benjamin Francis.
Yeah, Charlie does well here because he forces the Welsh to pass the ball so far in front of the centre forward that it was a really difficult connection to make. Hoping that the goalkeeper or one of the other defenders would get back to make sure they cover. Good first 10 minutes.
What right in this contest, of course, the promotion. Has been a fast old start. Dinny. Hawker. Now Francis taking on Charlie. Wall with a decent pass, it comes back to him. Wales go back deep. We're into the final 4 minutes of the quarter. Furlong. Walker trying to wheel away. Draper trying to twist around. And are coming together with Hugo Geneste. Crosser thought to fire into the D. Using all his muscle to get that one in. Only half cleared. Dumont just deft touch to try and get it away, and France look to go at a charge. Roger now. Tynevez in front and to the D. Wales by hook or by crook managed to get themselves back.
Interesting when a player on the ball can run as fast as some of the players off the ball. Just shows the condition and some of the athletic abilities of the French player.
Lockwood. Off the foot. Walker pinching that. That's a couple of times now he's lost possession.
Yeah, he's not looking as sharp as he was earlier on in the week. Great skill.
Off is Francis. Cross that. Here's Draper. Can he control here? Space opening up for Wales. And they have the lead! Big goal for Wales and Shipperley. And what a time to score it. A couple of minutes left in the quarter.
Yeah, great early ball. Saw the overlap on the right hand side. Jacob Draper coming down, pulls onto the ball. We talk about putting the ball past the left foot of the first defender, and what he does there really nicely, hits that 6-inch spot outside the French defender's left foot, and Shipperley comes in, super deflection into the goalkeeper's top left.
For Welsh supporters, absolutely terrific for them. They'll be cheering on. Few in the crowd here. And France side, remember, they came down with Russia, top ranked side, 17th in the world rankings. They're going to have to come from behind here. Charlie to Borges, but Shipperley there to get there in front of the pass. And Hawker.
What Shipperley did well there was he waited till the French player put his head down to give the pass, and then stepped across to make the interception, offered him the pass, and then blocked it out as the pass was given.
Geneste is going to go here. Not the best of first quarter, as he mentioned. He gave away the ball in the build up to the goal, and now he's off for a couple of minutes. Not happy with his first 15 minutes. Bashing the seats.
Now the Welsh are putting the French under a bit of pressure, and with Charlie has been looking to find long passes when he's had the ball. Without him in the other games, they've been playing nice short controlled hockey, building up through the middle.
Shipperley couldn't get there with the slide. Belgian now forward for France into the final minute of the quarter. And Stratton, it's another loose pass. Goye a bit lucky there to Charlie behind him. That's fine, says the officials. Mugridge win it back. Carson. Whistle blows, and well, that was a bit of a fright for the French. So the end of the first quarter, and it's Wales who have the lead through Rupert Shipperley in the 13th minute against the French. French have looked, well, started well, but one or two key players a bit cumbersome so far. Still plenty of time left, but Wales in front, and that'll be a very delightful team talk.
Yeah, the Welsh have set their stall out. They've got very specific tactics as to what they're trying to do. to negate the French having working as a group and working as a pack defensively. They put their forwards very high. In fact, sometimes when they're knocking the ball around the back four, they've got two forwards in the French circle. So they're really drawing the game out, making it a long game so that the French can't work in the big groups that they normally do.
Let's have a look at the goal line for the Welsh. It was won back by Wales a little bit earlier in the move, but then this is what happened after it.
Good ball by Lewis Prosser. And if you just watch, it goes past that Frenchman's left foot, between his reverse stick and his left foot. Very difficult place for anyone to defend, and Shipperley knows where it's coming. Comes in towards that near post and just opens the stick face to lift it above the goalkeeper with no chance.
Rather than that gentleman deciding to stay out there with the umbrella because it is raining.
Tom White's from East Kilbride. They breed them tough up there.
I think I'd rather been here, though. It's dry here. It was incredible when seen sort of 30-40 minutes before the game, as usual, putting the water on, and then you just sensed the rain was coming, but players have stuck well to the surface, not being too many slips.
Yeah, I think the French will be looking to get more outcomes in the circle and get some more corners.
So second quarter underway. Fans going to have to come from behind here. Remember, there is potential if there was a tie after the 4 quarters, then the run and shoot out. Plenty of time left. Kiefer not happy, but on the floor and trying to get back as Wales have possession. Forward from Daniel Kyriakidis. Thought it was a Welsh ball, but Hutchinson got the script. Daniel Kyriakidis didn't. Forward that towards Goye, coming together, and it's going to be a green card now for Alf Dinney.
Just a little bit of shoulder in there by Dinney as he made the tackle. Gives the French an opportunity to take that one-man advantage.
Charlie, it was interesting. We talked about it a lot extensively in the game earlier. The game that we've seen with Ukraine and the Czechs, it was a physical game. They're far more lenient, and even with 1 or 2 interesting bits of body contact, there wasn't too much bar 2 or 3 green cards, whereas this has been quite a authoritative step early on.
Yeah, there's so much at stake here that I think as umpires you want to set your stall out so that the players know exactly what's going on, so that there's no chance of it going out of control. And umpires have been quite clear that they're not going to let much go today. The thing that for me in this game so far, Cal, is that the French haven't been able to get the ball into their midfield players.
Lockwood, it's taken a neck bit off Daniel Kyriakidis.
They've not had the normal interplay that they've had in the other games through their midfield players. Whether that comes later on.
Charlie and a swipe from Kiefer. Doing great. Has it. He weaves away.
That was great defending by 2 of the Welsh defenders, getting their stick across their feet, stopping the French from getting the corner that they were trying to manufacture that situation. But great awareness of what the forwards are likely to do.
wall for Wales. Was in a number of minds what to do with that, and Sean O'Keefer put the pressure on. Just went a bit long. Hawker trying to nick it off Lockwood. Lockwood's loft taken by Kyriakidis, James Kyriakidis. Lockwood down. That channel was more for Baumgarten, but just wriggled out. James Kyriakidis losing to Baumgarten. And slipping and losing his feet on his own accord.
Unfortunately, he was just going a little bit too quickly when he came to the last tackle and wasn't able to make a move to evade it.
Plus a little deft pass of Hawker. Tripoli gets it back. 37th cap today for the opening goal scorer. Looking to maybe try and help and get another. Francis turns here in the day and just carried away by the keeper.
Yeah, he had passes that at the back post that he could have switched it, but the three half-hearted tackles by the French midfield there allowed the Welsh to actually carry the ball into their 23. We haven't really seen that from the French previously.
Kelly, Hawker, James Kyriakidis to Daniel. Francis, was he brought down? Well, he almost played it. Well, he did play it across, couldn't find anyone ready. Everyone kind of half stopped for a second there, particularly in French. Shipperley though for Wales. Back in it goes. But not quite the pass. Been a good little spell this last couple of minutes for the Welsh. 18 time gets going though for France.
Yeah, we haven't seen French turn the ball over like that in any of the games up to now. So maybe the pressure is starting to tell on them.
Charlie back from Belichick. Lockwood. Charlie. Control and an equaliser for Gaspar Baumgarten. And just like that, it's 1-1.
That's what we were talking about, Callum, about having a bit of patience, moving the ball a few times back and forward, and Charlie looking for that penetrative pass into the circle, uses his body well to disguise it. First touch and a great tomahawk. Looked as though it went through the keeper a little bit. I think Kettles will be slightly disappointed, because if you watch this when the ball comes in, it seems to go past his left hand into that far side of the net.
Baumgarten with his second goal of the tournament after a goal against Ukraine. Leads his club hockey with Lyon. And the equaliser. And just as we said just before that, Wales had that good couple of minutes spell of sustained pressure. Brentford trying to get on the front foot.
Yeah, the Welsh will be disappointed because they've been playing well, and the French haven't really been playing that well up to now. So to be back level with the French not being at their best and having had good periods of ascendancy, it'll be a bit disappointing for them.
spotted Tynevez just about staying on his feet. Peters Jutes following up here, still juggling. Long corner.
You'd be looking for the player to get a better outcome from there, from the long corner. You're into the circle, you'd want either a shot or a penalty corner from that position.
Just about keeping this one together, but
Great
Shirley steals. Draper furthest forward. Tynevez was the one that was back to cause the most disruption, and they could flip this round and from Bressak's way, but back with Wales again.
Shipley just taking it a little bit too close to the French defender and allowing him to get the tackle in.
Six minutes to half time. And there's 1-1 in this first semi-final of the day. Scotland, the winners of the other pool, against Russia, who are second to Wales.
I think Geneste has given away possession more times in this first half than he has in the 3 games we've watched them previously, Cal.
Nicely from Goy to Peters Jutes. Just making sure it was in taking the right spot.
French overloading the right hand side a bit now.
Charlie Van Straten trying to help it on.
Great defending.
Play on slow, see the umpires there. Goy, penalty corner off the leg.
Really disappointing for the Welsh. That's twice where one of the defenders has been engaged and the sticks come out of their hand, and it's given one of them allowed the French to come in, and I think led to the goal, and that one leads to a penalty corner. It would be for France it would be a good time to score. For Wales it would be a dreadful time to lose a second goal. Charlet looks as though he's going on the first.
So no chance then for France. Charlet, it's a complete ear swipe and a miss hit and confusion. Van Straten thought. Martin Bressac gets away by that baseline, but well, it wasn't the finest of a moment.
No, I don't know whether the extra water on the pitch meant that the ball rolled a little bit off Van Straten's stick away from where Charlet was coming in. So a let off for Wales.
Yeah, instead of the air swipe, it was more like a bit water spray.
Just a slight difference in the angle of the stick on the stop means that it goes in a totally different direction, and the flickers are totally committed to where he's expecting the ball to be. Very difficult to make a change, an adjustment in your run at that point.
Dumont, that wasn't in the plan book. Of disruption from Dolan Gray in Wales to advance once more. Carson, Dolan Gray, penalty corner to Wales. I think there'll be a few Welsh supporters and excited because Gareth Furlong time possibly.
Umpire Bell saying it was for that first tackle as the Welsh forward came into the circle. Tense discussion going on. First penalty corner for Wales.
He talked about a good time to score or bad to concede at the other end a minute or so ago. It's same but in reverse for the sides here. Dale Hutchinson across. It's Furlong. There's another penalty corner. Another look at it there.
Yeah, keeper was pretty clear. He thought it was going low and just stood up for it.
So Hutchinson once more.
And Carson on the second cancel.
Furlong again, it's blocked, and it is going to be a tunnel of possession. Oh. Wasn't the pass that was required, as very cheaply back to Wales and Johnny Gooch. Another poor pass going to Dumont. And it's scrappy there from both sides.
When you have a defending penalty corner at one end, you actually should have a big overload at the other, Callum, and a lot of teams have set moves that allow them to get the ball up to the other end very quickly. It looked as though the French were trying to do something similar, but didn't have the players in the right position.
Couple of minutes left until half time. France possession looking to maybe sneak a second. They are back level after going behind in the first quarter. Here's Dumont. Forward from Carty, now Lockwood, Goyi on a stretch. A bit of nonsense going on with Daniel Kiriakidis. He just decides to run back.
Yeah, French felt that the ball had come up off the Welsh defender's stick into the French player's body rather than the other way around. Charlie looking for the long ball again.
Charlie helped on its way. That party by Rogier now taken on. Swipes goal from Baumgarten. And Baumgarten not happy. Green card being shown. I think he's frustrated with himself a little bit.
Yeah, the opportunity going forward and just lost possession and tried to tackle from on the ground. And the umpires have been told to be harsh on that kind of tackle.
Dumont.
I love the way that the French, under a pressure situation like that, are willing to have confidence in each other, play the ball out, rather than just release it somewhere and put it out of play, or try and force it through the opposition. Great composure.
Here's Dumont picking it up. Time's up though at the end of the quarter and at half time. And it is Wales 1, France 1. Rupert Shipperley opened the scoring right at the end of the first quarter in the 13th minute. Kasper Baumgarten though equalised for France. And it's all square in the semi-final, which has been played at good tempo, good pace. And Neil, let's have a little look at the goals.
Yes, this was Lewis Prosser coming out there. The foul is given. Great vision to be able to pull the ball across to Jacob Vepa. And for me, great ball in for Neil Shipperley to come over and get that deflection. Sorry, Rupert Shipperley. Great reading by the forward. in round about the goalkeeper, and any deflection very difficult to deal with. French brought the ball out. Charlie again looking for that penetrating ball. Super pass into the circle, and then good reverse stick shot past the goalkeeper's left hand into the far post. I said before, I think Kettle will be slightly disappointed.
So that's the state of affairs. Those are the goals. At the break then, as we take a pause for the moment, it is Wales 1, France 1. Welcome back for the third quarter of this one between Wales and France, the semi-final of this EuroHockey Championship 2. The first one of the two semis, Scotland and Russia to come, but evenly poised this one. Wales looking to create some story if they were to win this. France looking to just regain their top tier status after relegation 2 years ago. And Neil, who would have felt better going into that half-time break? Would France be delighted to be level, or Wales disappointed to be level? What do you think the psyche would be?
I think Wales would be disappointed because I think they played well. The coach has set them up well to try to negate the way the French have played in the last few games. I think the French will be happy-ish in that they certainly haven't played well, and to be at 1-1, given they haven't played at their best, is not a bad outcome for them. As we said before, Geneste for us hasn't had his best game, and it'll be interesting to see whether he becomes a bit more influential in the second half, and whether the French manage to, once they get back to 11 players, when they manage to get their midfield going.
Here's Shipperley, the goal scorer for Wales. The opening goal it was in the game. Daniel Kyriakidis into the circle. Carson couldn't get enough on it. Shipperley not impressed that it's not the Welsh ball.
Wales trying to press this in just now because the position the French are in. But the French are back up to 11, and I don't think that message got onto the players on the pitch quickly enough.
Yeah, Baumgarten was green carded last minute of the second quarter, so that's done and dusted now. Baumgarten scored the equaliser. Charlie, no signs of any injury problems for now. So this from Tanya, so yes, we'll get it back from the own final third.
These first time layoffs that the French are doing in the middle of the park.
Well, space open up here. Carson is through and goal 1-1. And he has made it 2-1. What a ball through, what a celebration. Draper's ball, thumbs up from the umpires, and there's a shocking start.
French complaining that they didn't get the ball taken for the right place for the foul, or they hadn't taken it, but great capitalisation there by the Welsh in terms of high forward, pick up the ball, release it early into the circle, gets the goalkeeper set, far post. Great goal.
Sensational start to the quarter for Wales. That's for James Carson. Chances like that when they come up, got to be taken, and for Wales they have been. However, Martin Bressac dribbling in and juggling in. It's going to be the long corner. France now need to fight back again. Wide it goes. Tanya Vez. Geneste, who also has had a green card in the game, dribbling it, real pelt, and Van Straten trying to get an effort on it, and Gareth Furlong has to try and get it away.
Yeah, good composure to just get control of the ball and bring it out.
Back to Charlie. Again, just linking up. They're trying to sustain pressure here, France. Instead for Durant. Walker trying to get it away. Gooch too, but France reclaim it. Durant, it's all a bit tight. And bouncing up. Martin Bressac, it's still alive with Lockwood. It's a penalty corner. And that was a couple of minutes of real intense pressure the French put on there.
Absolutely, and again a little bit of composure in the circle, that they wouldn't take the shot until they had a clear shot. Lockwood had what looked like an opportunity to go on his reverse. Didn't have the time because of the closeness of the Welsh defender, and held off and drew the penalty corner. The thing now, Callum, is that what we talked about at half time is whether the rain has slowed the pitch down such that the injection from the penalty corner is a bit slow and allows the defender to get closer to the flicker.
Martin Bressac to inject. Charlie, it's carried away well by Kettle.
Yeah, good save down to his bottom right.
Durant. 100 miles per hour, which no one was going to get on the end of, but into the danger zone anyhow.
Yeah, I think it was at Lockwood at the back post that actually had stepped away from the post rather than going into it. If he'd committed to go to the post where the forward would normally be, then there was a chance of a deflection. Again, an overload here for the Welsh.
Just behind Alfdini. Pass from Hawker. Johnny Gooch, that's lost. Johnny Stett, twist turns, kicked away by Kettle. Hutchinson off the body of Durant. Yes, it is a Wales ball into Tynevez. Space for Hutchinson. It's going to be a penalty corner off Charlie. Up the other end now.
French don't seem to be getting their midfield into position, and sometimes their forwards into position to be able to stop that long ball that's getting fed down to the Welsh forwards. Nice easy ball played from left defence down to left forward there that created the opportunity to get the penalty corner. If the Welsh could score this one, it would certainly give them a bit of breathing space.
Dale Hutchinson to inject. There's Furlong, it's saved. Furlong take two, and swipe, and obviously dangerous.
And the French are breaking quickly.
2-3 coming forward. As well recovered and dealt with Daniel Kyriakidis. Very stretched.
Good defending by the Welsh at that point. The French forward trying to get the left foot pass into the circle to one of his free teammates. Welsh defender getting his stick in the way and breaking down the fast attack from the corner breakout.
Ball went backwards to Furlong.
Super pick up by Muggeridge there on his reverse side.
Spin from Hutchinson. Gooch. Stolen back by France, but Prosser in the road. Ruggiero on the edge of the D. Thought it was in a bit of a stretch to get that. 7 minutes to go in the quarter, almost halfway through this quarter. Since Wales scored, I've had the penalty corner, but France have tried to reply. But again, mistakes creeping in more and more on Dinny. Lockwood alongside, but Dinny was always under pressure by himself. He'll come back for Wales.
Quite often in a break like that, Calm, there's a potential to actually run faster than you can, try and get away from the defender, and then you can't actually make any move when a defender comes in.
James Carson with a devil's ball across, but no one was near to pick up in either colour. Baumgarten. Lockwood takes on the free hit quickly.
French got a big overload on this side, but
Lockwood into Ruggiero. I think they're trying to see if they could make a foot, if anything, but has went Wales' way off Ruggiero's foot in the end. Lobbed up long by Gooch. Half controlled Daniel Kyriakidis. He's kept it just about, but not quite. He tried his best to try and beat the ball. 3-legged race with the opponent and the ball.
I think the French defender was quite glad when the umpire made that call, because he assumed it was going out, and Kyriakidis was very close to managing to keep it in.
Ball in space for Kiefer. Lockwood. Dumont once more. Flash shot by Baumgarten. Sort of hit off the volley, but it was quite close. Certainly was stripped to the umpire to have a chat. France carry on though. Finisty with the pass on. Oh! How did that not go in? Peters Jutes tried to get it back. It was Martin Bresak who was around near the goal line.
Again, great build up down the left hand side by the French. Just not getting the final touch to take the ball past the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper having an equipment failure, so umpires just stopped the time.
Little pause for Kettle. In a subliminal way, might be a good one for Wales, just to take a few seconds. They've been under a fair bit of pressure. Certainly France with a lot more of the ball since conceding. Kettle sorted. Bit behind, but Peters Jutes got it. Charlie. Peters Jutes, Dumont. Dumont. Bounce around, long corner.
Bit of patience there by them, just moving the ball around the back and then into Dumont in the point.
Charlie spotted a hint of a gap, gets back to him. Towards Van Straten. Come back for another long corner. Peters Jutes. Held on by Martin Bresak. And possession. France have lost it now. A real sense of angst amongst a few of the players there.
Yeah, and that tackle by the French forward will be a bit disappointing to the coach, because having had the Welsh under pressure for a consistent time, then to just make a silly tackle like that and give them a free ball out releases the pressure and lets them take the ball up the other end. Coach would be looking for the player there just to channel for a wee while, try and put them under a bit of pressure and see if they can win the ball back in their own area.
And the Welsh turn to try and do something in one corner themselves. 2 minutes left in the quarter. James Kiriakidis in towards the edge of the D for Francis. Umpire stopping things for a moment.
Welsh got an overload on this left hand side if they can get to it, but they're going to have to go all the way back.
That pass was to no one from Furlong, certainly no one in red. Dumont losing out to Shipperley, but ball was his, and now Charlie. Somehow being brought back to the Welsh side. Draper went forward, but Shipperley couldn't get that. Back with France. Getting towards the last few seconds of this quarter. Wales with the lead heading into the final 50 minutes. It would be 50 minutes away, just over from a place in the top table after they were sitting in the third table of a couple of years ago. Durant though might have something to say about that. High, and it went in from Van Straten, but pull back.
Yeah, the umpire had blown very, very early.
A lot of consternation from the French side, and that was a loud one from Geneste at the end of the quarter. Well, maybe a controversial end to the quarter, but whistle went, and some big tactics going to be discussed now because the big board is out for the French. They've got a big 15 minutes here. Wales have the lead. James Carson's goal has made it 2-1 in this period. Going for a bit of a finale here, Neil.
Yeah, as the teams tire, as the pitch speeds up, the French have started to find a little bit more space in the middle of the Welsh midfield, but they're turning the ball over, and that could be really costly. It cost them a goal that Carson scored, where he was really high forward and teammates managed to get the ball through to him, and he scored with a great shot.
Let's have a look at the goal from Carson to give them the lead.
There seemed to be some confusion there amongst the French, Callum, in that a lot of their players were going forward thinking it was their free. Now, whether the umpires thought it had already been taken and then it was intercepted by the Welsh, I'm not quite sure, but a number of the French midfield were stepping up when the ball was intercepted by the Welsh midfielder, and then he had a very easy ball down to James Carson in the French 23, and he did a great job one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So as you say, an interesting 15 minutes left.
Huge win for both sides. France have bobbled around between first and second tier, but this would be a big shot. Wales looking for a second successive promotion. So the massive final quarter in this first semi-final. Been some good action in the relegation side of the draw. Some important games down that side, but this has been, it's going to get maybe more and more tense, particularly if it stays at this scoreline for a bit longer.
And either they've turned the floodlights up or there is a blink of sun coming through Cam.
There's certainly some brightness kicking around, but there's about 95% grey clouds around, so I don't get too hopeful, but it's been fair for a little while. And here's Derance for France. Goye. Charlie. Lockwood. Lockwood trying to get around Hutchinson. Almost slipped through for Kiefer. Still on the edge of the D. Kiefer helped on its way. And then the effort alongside from Regiu just by the post.
Great opportunity. Just not able to take advantage of it and get the shot on target. And then immediately high ball down the other end. Shenistay not able to reach it, and Carson almost in again on a overload at the French end.
Curti losing that. Goy pinching that off Prosser and now trying to make headway. Free hit for Baumgarten to get on with. Charlie found himself up off a stick. Charlie will have another go, but not controlled by Baumgarten.
Again, you see that ball, one Welsh defender in front of him, he goes past the guy's left foot, somebody's making a lead out there, not able to trap it, but nice easy pass, they know where it's going.
They picked out the long pass. A little loose. France feeling a bit rushed here. Time ticking down.
You just wonder whether at any point the French coach will look at making any changes. Last 5 minutes he's actually had Genestay playing with Charlie at the back, and that's maybe not their strongest.
Need for Cam. Charlie trying to play the ball, which was a Wales ball.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there. Bell had seen the foul, but had given it the wrong way in the first instance, and French regained possession in that left defensive corner.
Goye. Even run. Charlie. Roger goes wide. 3-4 blue in there. Victor Lockwood stop.
He's very effective coming down that side, isn't he, Carl?
He is on the edge of the D. Really full couple of goals in that initially for France. It was Curti with the first little dab on the edge of the D, and then he went up high, and
French felt it had gone up off the Welsh stick, and the umpires felt it had gone up off the French stick, so hence why it was
contentious by the French sidelines were not happy. Martin Bressac. Charlie. Lewis Shipperley and supporting Hawker. Can they finish it off here? Potentially. Shipperley. Hawker. It's stopped by Charlie. Shipperley. Players coming back. Kelly, was he nudged? Yes, he was. And we'll get a shot anyway from the corner.
Good composure by Shipperley in there. Gets the first shot out. Well blocked by the French defender. And then Shipperley holds it in. Pulls 3 or 4 French players in. Drops it to the back circle where Stephen Kelly was. And he gets knocked over by one of the French midfield players coming back.
Yeah, Francois Goye, the one giving that away.
Pitch should have dried out a wee bit now, and it'll be interesting when Gareth Furlong can take advantage.
Shipperley to inject. It is Furlong. It's another penalty corner.
First runner getting out very close, and so by the time Furlong's releasing it, it's hitting his foot. Pictures there, the French goalkeeper telling his team what he's looking for from their defensive setup.
Furlong again. It's going to be another penalty corner, third in quick succession.
Welsh coach calling a corner.
Very quick meeting with Mugridge.
Yeah. Maybe looking to go at the other castle or switch.
Still Furlong! And there's a EuroHockey shockwave in the cards. Wales have a 3-1 lead.
Just a change of option, going to the far side. Different run for the first runner. And if you see it from behind the goal, he actually has to change his angle. So he's running towards the right hand castle, then has to change. And because of that, he actually unsights both the goalkeeper and the post player. Great flick down bottom corner.
9 minutes left, but huge scoreline, a huge moment here for Welsh hockey is on the cards. French being counted out a little bit at the moment. Shipperley with it back. Draper looking to try and deliver. France not in this position too often. Certainly at this level, they've usually more often than not can bounce straight back up into the top tier. Now they've got 9 minutes, still time, but need to go and find a couple of goals. One or two of their bigger players haven't really done it today.
That's not a bad ball, and forwards and midfield need to be reading that. I always say that if a defender can put a ball that goes off the end of the park, there's obviously the space there. The forwards need to be able to read the same space and be able to pick that up.
Lobbed from Furlong. Lockwood has to watch Shipperley.
Now the French coach has got a job. He needs to decide whether he continues with playing as they have played, or whether he wants to change and give them some different opportunities to go forward. Because at the moment they're not creating the open chances that they would want.
One back by Van Straten, and a bit of a slide, a slip. Support to the left. Goye, but cleared. Another loose one. Charlie brought back in, of course, despite injury doubts.
One of the options that the French coach has got is to take his goalkeeper off and
Looks
play.
like he might be doing so.
and he's got to give his players a chance to be able to score 2 goals. Not sure they'll allow them to play with that colour because it's the same colour as the umpires. But now taking the goalkeeper off, so playing with 11 outfield players. It'll be interesting to see what the Welsh do to counteract this and combat it. Going back into a half court.
So France keeping out desperate times. Now maybe the
French
chance, or maybe not for Wales to get forward in this scenario.
French are playing three forwards up in the Welsh circle, try and create opportunities there.
Marvels off Dumont.
A little bit of handbags there.
For Hutchinson. And Stratton back for Lockwood.
The difficulty with the team playing with 11, Callum, is when you turn the ball over. Everybody realises you don't have a goalkeeper and goes back to defend. And so it then leaves more spaces for the ball to be played out by the team you're trying to press.
Incidentally, it's Cristoforo Peters Dukes, that is outfielder with the goalkeeping privileges. And the black top now. Final 5 minutes. Wales are 5 minutes away from 2 promotions in a row in the EuroHockey Championship. Martin Braysack. Get the Wales bodies back. Goye into the D. Stick flying around. Oh, save made. Fell to corner though.
Super skills, and we talked the other day about 3D skills, being able to pick the ball up and play it while it's in the air and move it on. Again, Welsh player losing the stick, but this gives the French an opportunity to get one back.
Nicolas Dumont heading across.
So here's the question for you. If they score this and then get another one quickly, do you put your goalkeeper back on, or do you go for the win?
Leave that one for now. We'll see what happens here. Charlie! He has scored. It's 3-2. And there is still life in the French.
So he's on the first castle this time, comes in, goes across. Defender on the line, looks as though he gets a stick on it. Not sure if the goalkeeper gets anything on it before that. And into the roof of the net. And the other thing the French will have to do is keep rolling the substitutes, because their players are having to work so hard to try and keep the Welsh under pressure because of the extra player. So they'll have to keep substituting on a regular basis.
Four minutes left. James Kirikidis losing the ball. Peters Dukes. Charlie. Staying for Durant.
Passes aren't just quite crisp enough.
He's back to Wales. Hutchinson. Taken away by Roger. Closer. Trying to find Dolan Gray. Oh, it's loose here. James Kirakidis, here's Hawker. It's a penalty corner off Charlie.
That's really unfortunate for the French, because the ball out from Charlie hit the Welsh player's foot as he tried to play it into the middle of the park. That was why it was intercepted by a Welshman. It changed the angle and came out. Neither of the umpires have seen it, but that's what the French were complaining about. He was trying to bring it out to this side, to the kicking back. It came off the Welsh forward's foot and deflected in. Now, without a goalkeeper, then it's advantage Wales. The only thing that the French have got in their favour is that I think Gav Furlong's not on the park.
Nope, it's Kirakidis or Hawker. Hawker! It is number 4, and is that surely the clincher now?
And Charlie still upset that the umpire didn't manage to spot that. One of these passes where it's risk and reward. If you take the risk of trying to throw that ball through the defender, then whilst the reward might be high, it was a high risk strategy, and the ball possession turned over.
Hawker, who scored against Switzerland in the big 9-0 win, scored again here to restore the 2-goal advantage. 2.5 minutes left.
For Wales, they just need to make sure they don't turn the ball over like that and give away silly possession.
Closer, they're doing well to juggle it. Carson. Charlie doing well there.
French have got too many players behind the ball to have a one-man advantage, and 4 of them behind the guy that has the ball.
Durant switches it out, and it goes. Baumgarten saved, and it is another goal for France. Goodness me, this game just gets better and better. It's back to 1 goal between them.
Forced into the circle, good pick up, turns onto the reverse, good save by the keeper, and a second shot. So it looks like Jean-Laurent Kiefer touching that in eventually. Oh, interesting last 1 minute 40.
Clever from Kiefer. Not quite done yet. Remember, if it was to get back to level Thames, we'd have the shootout. Lots of nerves and excitement around. Great crowd, and a lot of the Scottish crowd has started to appear too, so the stand is pretty full. And they've got an absolute treat here in this first semi-final, and potentially a remarkable story.
Interesting decision by the Welsh there to scoop the ball out at the French end. All it did was give away 8 seconds, but it gives the possession.
It's a penalty corner to France.
Now the strategy of giving the ball right back by flicking it here means you give the other team possession and allow them to build up. Foul there, and the player doesn't retreat. So here's my question to you again. With a minute and 11 left, if they score it, do you put your goalkeeper back in and go for penalty shootout?
Let's see if they score it. Charlie scored one from this position. Another penalty corner.
First runner quite high out. Welsh complaining to the umpire that where the ball hit the first runner was above the knee and therefore should have been called for dangerous. The way the ruling is that if it hits the first runner below the knee, it's acceptable. If it hits him above the knee, then that's danger and should be called against the attacking side.
Go on to inject again. Charlie, it's another penalty corner.
Sending one out top circle, two in front, and Rupert Shipperley there stopping the ball just round about the penalty spot. So do the French just keep going until they knock them all over?
60 seconds left. Charlie! Tee off Kettle. How big was that? Charlie to the corner again, to Roger, bounced off the body, and it's another penalty corner.
A good build up again by the French. Welsh defender wasn't quite close enough, got caught in no man's land. He wasn't zoning, he wasn't tight on the player, was still moving when that deflection came in. Do you stay with Charlie or do you go with Geneste?
36 seconds left on the clock. Dumont to inject.
Change the castle. Oh, so having broken the line, he has to go to the halfway line.
Kelly.
Now they have to defend with 3.
The tension. Peters Jutes, who's the sweeper keeper at the moment, with head in hands. It is Geneste. It's another penalty corner. They're going to actually chat about this, the Welsh players all in. No, it's not going to be a penalty corner, and France lead the protest now, and it's their time running out. Here it is again. Well, that's just the end of it there. Certainly had a bit of a conversation, the two officials, Mike Bennett and Fraser Bell. Geneste continues his conversation.
Certainly a big call by umpire Bennett. He's the one that called that. Umpire Bell had given the corner. Disengaged umpire had called it.
It's up long for Dolan Gray. It's not going to stay in. Well, 2015 Wales are playing the likes of Italy, Belarus, Turkey and Sweden in the third tier in EuroHockey. They are now going to be in the top table as they celebrate a massive scalp. The second lowest ranked side here on paper. 32nd have beaten France, 17 seeds relegated from the top table in 2015. They're in the World League semi-final. France, they have lost to Wales. Incredible. It may well be a huge moment for the men's side in Welsh hockey. Neil.
Oh, great result for the Welsh. Their hockey has been on the up for probably about 3 or 4 years now, and they've worked incredibly hard. My understanding is that the players have contributed significant financial resources to the programme this year to make sure that they were well prepared, well trained and ready for this. The French obviously will be very disappointed, having been in South Africa, having been in Joburg for the Hockey League semi-final and had some good results there and played against some of the top teams. They would have come here feeling that they were in a good place. Unfortunately for them, they haven't played since they were in Johannesburg, so the Scotland game was their first game since then, and they just today weren't, the good players didn't play to the level that we expected them to.
So let's get our breath back. Unfortunately, one or two of the French players not too happy with the officials, but I think, as you mentioned, one or two players for the French side didn't really perform to their best. But let's kind of look over all the big points from the game. And Wales started the game off with the opener, and France were always on catch-up.
Absolutely. It's good awareness from Lewis Prosser to get the ball over to Jacob Draper, and then for Rupert Schipperle to come in at the near post. Very difficult for the goalkeeper with that ball going in, just to get what's going to happen, but almost unsavable to get the ball up into that top corner. This one out to Charlet, always looking for that penetrating pass. And a nice backhand shot for the equaliser.
And then this was the moment for James Carson right at the start of the third quarter.
Difficult one for the goalkeeper. He has to come across to Carson. Carson does well, because as the goalkeeper's still moving, he puts it past his foot.
Gareth Furlong was always going to score a penalty corner. He just felt it. He always tended to do so, and that was 3-1.
Yeah, the key point here was that Furlong changed castles. He went to the right-hand castle, and if you watch the first runner from the French, as he goes out, he changes slightly to his left there, and that blocks out the goalkeeper and the post player. They couldn't see the ball coming in. Then down the other end for a corner. Chavez getting his goal from his flick, coming across the defensive players into the defensive left post. Kirikidis getting a touch on it, but going into the roof of the net.
Also at this stage, France chasing no goalkeeper. Pocket made it look simple for number 4.
Yeah, and the French obviously upset, as we said, about the what they felt was a bad decision to award that the corner.
Kind of thought 4-2 that maybe was the cushion, and that was job done. Not too happy. Cameron really got a tank in there, but there was another goal. Officially it's been given to Guillaume Durant, but I'm pretty sure there it was obviously Kiefer that scored, so I'm sure the officials will change that, but it was definitely number 5
second
Kiefer.
attempt, first attempt, goalkeeper's lying down. Defender makes a save, but it comes back to him and he lobs it over the goalkeeper for the 4-3, and then a significant amount of pressure from the French. Having pulled their goalkeeper, they did everything but score in the last two minutes or so, with 4 or 5 penalty corners back to back, but not actually being able to take advantage of that situation and score that crucial goal.
So there's confirmation of all the results, but for Wales, side that have been pretty much a second tier team, if you look at all the recent history of this competition, had the dark spell of 2013 relegated with Italy, and then won with Portugal going up in 2015. Now they're going to be back, or they're going to be up into the top table, and incredible achievement. The other game to come, and it may well be could be a watershed moment for British and Irish hockey at the top table. Could have got England and Ireland in there. Wales are going to be there. Scotland have got a chance to be there, but a Russian side who are pretty decent. What do you expect from that game, Neil?
Oh, that's going to be a really tough game for Scotland. But they showed against Ukraine that they have the ability to dig in and work a result for the full 60 minutes and make sure that they get something out of it. It would be fantastic for British hockey if, as you say, we would have England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland into the top 8 for the next European Championships in 4 years. And I think the other thing for Scotland is, with Wales getting through the final, there may be impact on Commonwealth Games ranking and Commonwealth Games invitation for the Gold Coast next year. So I think it's important for Scotland to get through against Russia, to just ensure that they retain their ranking above the Welsh team, who, as you say, have done particularly well. Their club sides are doing well just now in Europe, and they're obviously on and up.
Well, Neil, great to get your thoughts again today. We'll see you and hear from you tomorrow. And, well, we'll have to take a breather because we're out of breath after that semi-final. Scotland against Russia is on the way at 4:30. We'll be on air just before that. But a terrific moment for Welsh hockey as Wales have beaten France by 4 goals to 3.